Good evening. This is for the key assignment, professional responsibilities, and advocacy portfolio. Um, I'd like to title it Nurturing an Inclusive and Mindful Classroom. It's a reflective journey in literacy teaching. Um, Teaching for me is a dynamic profession that requires a constant self reflection and adaptation. Um, I use this all the time since I practice Buddhism all the time. I think it's central to my teaching. Uh, I want to delve into my teaching identity, um, drawing from my experiences as I lead and co teach um, my sixth grade classroom in my clinical setting at Patterson Park Public Charter School. Um, I like to touch that I do love and understand, and I'm very mindful of my students, um, and they guide my interactions. Um, and I'm pretty calm in my demeanor, and this shapes my daily experience with them. Um, Stepping into this culturally responsive and relevant teaching that I am developing, it it makes me responsive, and I want to be relevant at all times, and just paying attention to the different types of backgrounds, different types of likes and dislikes, and um, how my students are composed of different experiences, learning from them every day, and they allow me to be closer to them um, in return. I prioritize um, diversity and their perspectives too. I I try to differentiate and um, attend to all uh, of their needs, educational needs, um, including their cultural backgrounds. So I am, since I'm fully bilingual, it helps tremendously to switch back and forth, and as some of the students learn better when I give um, instructions in Spanish, or um, they may interrupt, and I um, can switch almost characters on a whim with them. And I think they appreciate that so much, that I can sit down with them and I'm not um, forceful or intimidating, um, and I can joke with them. I think it's so key that humor is involved in my teaching. Um, it does disarm a lot of my students. I think that this leads to this whole idea of anti-racism, of anti uh, almost an establishment, because we are addressing everybody equally, um, giving a voice to everybody, making, I guess, um, my students aware through literature, and not telling what to do, but just literature that they will read. Right now, we're reading Two Roads. It's a book on um, a father and his son and their trek. Um, it's a nomadic trek, homelessness. They encounter homelessness. They encounter um, um, sleeping on trains, and uh, running into encampments. But these are all things that they were doing in the turn of the century, and they also are fighting the white establishment, and we know later that they are Native Americans, and how Native Americans have to, um, well, then um, had to differentiate themselves from black folk because a lot of them had or have darker skin, so a lot of um, ignorant white folks pigeonhole them or put them in a sort of category, and they always have to uh, show their identity, much like what people do today. So the cultural relevancy it's there, and I try to tie things. I try to tell my students that this still happens without telling them, letting them discover it by asking questions and getting their input, um, and they see um, what we're trying to convey. And I think it exemplifies how our commitment to them um, serves like um, the the engagement that we're looking for, if that makes sense. Uh, and we try to create also on another note like quantitative and qualitative data analysis for like inclusivity. So we're paying attention to the the students who are colored or who are Hispanic, and we try to mix it up and not um, concentrate on one group, um, because we want to mix our students with high achievers, and middle achievers and low achievers, and we're trying to mix them up, um, taking into consideration um, the racial makeups, backgrounds, strengths and weaknesses uh, on the regular. We just finished doing star reading, and that is going very well. I think they will show, based on what we've done in our efforts, that there has been an increase in proficiencies. I've also worked on working with the kids uh, to advocate for myself strategies to be reciprocal, um, using vocabulary journals and word inquiries. Using this approach promotes this collaborative learning and allows students to actively engage with the text through prediction, which is like really hard, but well, it's like pulling teeth with them. But trying to get them used to future projects and the next year's um, standards with using summarization, clarification, questioning, um, inference. These strategies align with the UDL, ensuring that it's accessible to everybody, advocating for them and these strategies when planning anything with the teacher or with the um, set of teachers that we have. Um, we emphasize that we're adaptable, um, and if we're adaptable, so are our students, um, by meeting their needs and their learning styles. Um, I also would like to emphasize that although some of the things have been coming up in school, this underlying racism that's going on. Um, Teachers are very collaborative and very willing. Um, I think what we're feeling is this disconnect from, I want to say posses, or I guess that's a bad word, but these groups of teachers that aren't diverse within their clique. And so there that just promotes ignorance, because whenever something comes up, that is seen. It's seen because they're culturally um, not, they're wearing visors. They're blind to what's really going on and how they come across. And this is throughout, like when they don't respond to um, hellos, goodbyes, niceties. It's just something I guess we have to fight every time. It's not the right environment for it, but they keep doing it. Um, and this also comes across even with our cohort. It's, I guess, the same idea. Maybe I'm misreading it, but our cohort doesn't mesh. They don't respond to some questions that are posted. I've given up on that, and um, I think my relationship with the professor, Patrice, is key because um, I think we 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 connect because we're little older than the other students, and we come from maybe the same background, and I can connect with my teacher, and so I take her points on my assignments to heart. Um, I'm paying attention to everything she's saying, and I'm trying to incorporate it immediately in the classroom. Um, I think that listening to some of my cohorts, their experiences, listening to them also helps me. Um, I don't want to engage with them anymore, but I'm still listening to them just because of what I said. But moving forward, and in conclusion, um, I want to have like a comprehensive plan that reflects my identity always as a literacy teacher, and that my commitment um, fosters inclusivity and mindfulness in my learning environment. I want to incorporate CRRT, metacognition, effective reading, vocabulary instruction strategies that align with obviously my philosophy, my spirituality, my experiences with and where I am at Patterson Park Public Charter School. I plan to continually refine and adapt to these new practices based on um, what I see, what I feel, what I reflect, um, even student feedback, and whatever educational research comes along. Um, this journey underscores like the dynamic nature of teaching and the perpetual commitment that I have towards growing and improving. I hope this is good enough. Thank you for this opportunity.